I'm Ronald Thwaites. I've been practicing law in Jamaica for over 50 years. And I'm happy to have these conversations with you about legal matters that concern everybody's lives, whether you live in Jamaica or you live abroad. Now, please remember, this is not a substitute for consulting your own lawyer if you have a particular issue or problem. Listen up.
Why would I need a power of attorney?
A power of attorney is a very convenient legal instrument because very often in life, and particularly when we are in a state of dependency or vulnerability, we may not be able to carry out our own business, to be our own, have full agency of our own affairs. And a power of attorney empowers someone else to stand in our shoes.
How much of my own decision am I giving away?
It's up to you. You can make it limited and specific to one particular event or issue or set of circumstances, as well as it can be much broader. Many people, many Jamaicans, for example, live abroad, but they own property in Jamaica. Now, in those circumstances, that property may need attention. You may even want to sell it, or you want to buy it. Now, it may not be possible for you to come to Jamaica for in whatever circumstances. And a power of attorney, properly executed and properly worded, can in fact help you to do these things without actually being present.
For how long are powers of attorney valid?
Well, it depends on you. But I can tell you one thing. When you're dead, the power is finished. Yes? So I can say that I'm going away to do a task in some far-off land. So may I appoint you as my power of attorney for all my business, or some of my business, for the period. But when I come back, it determines on the day of my return, or 3 months after. So it's a question of art and of particular circumstance.
What is the difference between a general and a limited power of attorney?
Let me give you an example. There are persons who find themselves in diminished circumstances when they get elderly, and they can't do their own business in the way that they used to. For many, it's a very traumatic time, isn't it? But then they need to have someone, probably a relative, in some cases a financial institution, some legal personality, who can in fact have a general power of attorney, which provides that all of your business can be transacted by that person. Okay, it may have some conditions, as we'll go on to discuss, but that's what a general power of attorney. However, if I'm in a situation where I simply I want to sell my car, and that's all I need to be done, but I can't be here to do it. So I may want to give a power of attorney to a person for that limited purpose. And there can be any number of limited purposes.
Does my attorney have to do what I tell him or her, or can they act on their own?
Have to do what I tell them. Yes, but usually the power of attorney is worded in such a way as to allow a measure of discretion. Yes, in other words, if it is too specific and too particular, then maybe the task to be done may fall outside of the remit of those special words. But generally speaking, the power of attorney is not for the person who is called the donee, that is the person who is given the power of attorney, to go on a caper. The power of attorney is best drafted in a broader way to allow for the discretion, but always in the interest of the person giving it, not for the whim of the person exercising it.
Do I have to pay the person to whom I give the power of attorney?
Not usually, but there are circumstances in which it will be appropriate. In a business transaction, for example, it may well be appropriate, particularly if a great deal of the person's time is going to be expended in carrying out your duties, in helping you out in circumstances where you can't, then of course a fee ought to be stipulated. Can I emphasize that? It's best if those arrangements are made at the outset and incorporated in the document, because otherwise it's pure bangarang.
Can a power of attorney be a substitute for a will?
No, it can't. A power of attorney is for the life of the person giving it. Yes? A will is for the disposition of a person's property after they have died. So the two intersect at the point where life ends. They do not overlap.
Who can draw up a power of attorney?
Anybody can, but I think it's good to consult a lawyer, and it's good to give that lawyer very specific instructions as to what you want to do, why you're doing it. And it is also very important to choose the person who you are giving the power of attorney to as a trusted person. Yes, that's very, very important. So it's not just a person who is influential or a person who you would like to have a relationship with. It must be somebody who you trust. And when you do that, it has the likelihood of being successful and carrying out your wishes.